Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stoneface Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we're here to watch some Gundam 00. We got some comments here, let's see what everyone has to say. Dante's Power says, I prefer someone that knows what to fix and has the motivation to do it than someone that has a political college degree and knows how to do a loophole to gain more cash. Just look at communist states. Question,
Oh,
question mark?
it
That's my response.
it's funny.
Theta, give me context.
I don't remember. Um,
Damn!
but I was just thinking, somebody with a political degree, and my first thought was the Politburo from the USSR. Famous in movies at least, from like Hunt for October. The one guy that Sean Connery has to kill before he can start his rebellion thing, and also the cook who tries to kill everyone.
I
Famously also in the book Eon, which is an amazing read, Greg Bear, I believe it is.
mhm.
Uh, that every Soviet Union has to have a political officer to make sure that no one's turning Democrat or whatever.
My father actually has a fun story about that. He was in the military for a while in Poland, and so what happened every now and then is that he would be brought in, sit down with like his local officer, and they'd be like, "All right, so are you a dedicated to the ideology of communism? Yeah, we'll just check mark that. Are you X and X? Yeah. Are you a loyal member? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Congratulations, you passed." They just simply didn't care. Nobody cared by that time period.
I
It's
mean,
it's performance.
it could also just be like a novel movie thing that the officer that's super dedicated to the country, right?
Hmm.
It could actually be the standard. Like nobody's at KGB levels of dedication to service of the country, like the Politburo officer in every movie or novel or anything where they exist, and they're like, "But Captain, that would go against the ideologically of the state." No, maybe they're just sitting back like $5, $5, and I don't report this.
Yeah, no, that's more realistic, and that's basically what corruption comes down to. Someone who doesn't want to do it goes, "I'll look over this. Just give me something for it," and then it never happens. You just say everything's fine. It happens.
Serving the state is equal to serving me, so just
Also,
give
the
me
way you
something.
put it also made me think of like every single time in Star Trek where they stop and talk about it's like, but would this violate the first
Prime
the
directive.
first prime directive?
You were
Yeah.
saying First Amendment, weren't you?
I didn't know what it was. Like I got caught.
Well, you got to appreciate that in Star Trek, anytime there's like a deadly situation, there's still time to collect everybody and go walk to the briefing room to have a conversation about it. It's not prescient deadly, it's just hovering over us deadly.
Right. So yeah, at least when it comes to someone who is motivated about fixing problems, and knows what to do, go ahead and remember to support your local rebellion leaders when it happens. Next
I'm
comment.
sure it's something I said. I don't know what, and at this point I don't remember what episode. And it could have
Who
come from
knows?
the last two. So,
JT says they dragged Saji into the situation. Sweat mark. If they didn't intervene, Saji is long dead, killed by Autobots. Man, I thought the Decepticons would get into that, but the Autobots, they've gone downhill.
I mean, it sounds to me clearly they're referring to the first episode of
Yeah,
the
yeah, of course,
season
of
with the
course.
with those little square or octagonal things that just rolled out.
Mhm.
That's
I
Autobots. What?
Yeah, I think our commentary previously was that theoretically they could have just dropped Saji off somewhere, literally anywhere. Though technically he was still held prisoner. Someone probably has a file on him. He'd probably get picked up again at some
Well,
point. That's the
technically,
way authoritarian states work.
technically they did pick him up. I mean, sorry, they did drop him off, and then he ran out into the
And then he got
desert.
picked up.
Yeah, all they had to do was not pick him up again.
Right. So at some point, it literally is just everyone having a lot of mercy on Saji and going, "We know there's only bad endings for you out here. Just stick here."
Yeah, I guess he would have, but I think he'd just been stuck in the desert. I'm trying to remember. He got picked up by that floating carrier with our
Mhm.
Scar commander in it, and then they got into a thing where he ends up telling the second guy to come into the
Sergey.
room everything. No, the other guy. He tells the second guy to come that comes in the room everything, and it ends
Mhm.
up into a kerfuffle where Sergey tells him to run away. Like, I'll just make it look like nothing happened or something, and you
Yeah,
run
yeah.
away. And I forget where he runs away to. Like, how does he get off the air carrier?
I don't know.
We literally just recapped everything that we knew about the entire show last
I
recording.
think they literally don't show him getting off or how he gets anywhere afterwards. He just is suddenly back at the base afterwards.
Well, if that's true, all they had to do is not pick him up again. Like, obviously, he's not going to do the
Yeah.
rebels any good, but if you think about it, being at the rebel base, like, he could have taken care of the
Mm.
kids, maybe, but at the same point, he wouldn't have, like, given anything else away. I guess technically they would have had nobody to fly out the double O backpack. I
Yeah.
forget what it's called already. The double O
The
back,
Razor.
yeah, Razor. Okay, they would have had nobody to fly out the double O Razor because they would have chosen. Oh God, do I save Ian's life, or do I fly the double O Razor out to the Exia?
Mm. I think, like I was saying, like last episode, Saji's personal problem is that he doesn't want to belong to Celestial Being. He's already expressed his reasonings why, but they're also the only people helping him now. So that is a thing he has to contend with himself with, and he's barely confronted it last time.
I believe the contention also exists that while the people in the Celestial Being group that he's with it now didn't commit the thing that killed
Mhm.
Luis's family and broke her arm off, and all broke her arm off. You know what I'm saying? Did all that stuff. They're still part of the organization the other group belonged to. So,
Mhm.
same way to Luis's point of he's part of it is that they're all kind of connected, right?
Yeah.
The thrones didn't come from nowhere, and while Alhambra may have like been his own little, underground network, he was still part of Veda. Veda knew
Yeah.
about him. Well, if you understand that Veda is
Yeah.
like controlling every part of this stuff. It's contacting every group. Every group has to contact back to Veda to get authorization to do so. That's how it's working in the manga anyway. They
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
have to do it, and if they decide not to, Veda will order the destruction of that group and like disavow them or whatever. So
Right.
he still had to have been reporting to Veda up until the point where he gets thrones to hack Veda. But
Mhm.
at the same time, their shit was known to Veda. They're still the same part of the They're still part of the overall organization.
Right. Let's go ahead and go to the next comment. Jimmy, the GBO2, says, I can say that in all season 2, Saji completely the number one pick most hated character in my list. Always think that he is so different, kind. Makes me feel shit.
He should
So
feel
wait,
like
you're
shit.
jealous of
Saji is
Saji?
this is clearly like a bad translation or bad English or I'm not trying to insult the commenter. I'm saying that either you wrote something into Google Translate and sent us what it said, or you sent it to us in broken English where it made sense to you.
Hey,
Because
I still love reading
obviously,
it.
well, I'm saying obviously you're not going to say Saji's a piece of shit and that it makes you feel bad. So obviously the thing here is you're saying Saji's a piece of shit. And what's the last sentence again?
Makes me feel shit.
Makes me feel shit. So either he feels an emotion when we say shit about Saji that's good, I'm gonna take that as the reading. That he
Yeah,
thinks Saji's a piece of shit, and it makes him feel shit, not like shit. It makes him feel shit when we say good things about Saji.
there you go. Uh, and yeah, no. So, like, if
And
I'm
yeah,
thinking about
no,
other Gundam series, a couple of others. One second. If I'm thinking a couple other series, sometimes they pack the two characters together. The intense Gundam pilot and the person who is crying in the background about having to do the fighting. In this series, those are two separate characters. And Saji is the one crying. So, of course, He doesn't have anything else to back himself up with other than that he is trying his absolute hardest to not kill other people. He's really trying.
So would you
And that is a
say,
normal thing for a person to try.
yeah, what would you say, Martin and Ghoul?
That's a
Intense Gundam pilot impersonation. Crying all the time is clearly Martin.
oh,
So,
absolutely,
who's our
yeah.
intense Gundam pilot that you're trying to reference here? From which?
I mean, if we're talking about which, Suletta is both characters.
Ooh, I guess.
So Suletta is the typical arrangement where it's
So,
in one
what
person.
you're saying is Suletta is the Saji of Wish for Mercury.
There we go. Yeah, there we go.
So, the character that's the most hated on this show is the most beloved on that show.
Yeah. Uh, the shows are different, but I mean the archetype. You
So,
you can see the archetype
so you're
elsewhere.
saying if we brought Suletta into Double O, people would hate her.
If we brought Suletta into Double O, her and Saji would probably just get along perfectly fine.
Oh
It's like,
yeah, Suletta would try to help Saji get Luis back. That's clearly what would happen. Look, Mister. I don't remember what her
I did
commander's name
another
is.
music video for you.
Look, I don't know what's going on here, but clearly we should be able to settle this with words. I challenge you to a duel. It's the hangar scene from when Sophie tries to kill Suletta and she's protecting Nika. It's that exact scene, just trying to get a couple back together again instead of anything
There.
else.
Up next, we have Jaws Phoenix, who says, in the dub, they fixed the dialogue from girl to she's so young. It's not that he was surprised she's a girl, he's surprised she's young at hour 1, minute 1, 41 seconds. The word is the same, but the way it is intended is different. Yeah, that makes a world of difference right there.
Sorry,
That's still
normally
maybe a little
I
like
normally I cut out the timestamps from the things I have you read. So, because they're not prescient to your knowledge, because you're not watching the thing that the
yeah,
timestamp is
but
connected
I
to.
remember the moment now.
Of course, we referred to it back to like 3 or 4 times. Because I'm constantly like, hey, is that the guy who said girl to them for no reason? Because it's just so out of it's weird that you would translate some guy saying girl to she's so young because that doesn't seem like it would fit the scene either, right? I mean, it makes
It
sense on a narrative level that somebody would show up and say she's so young. Like,
I mentioned before in like other places or other people, word choice is important when determining the personality of a person. And when you completely change their languages and you're trying to keep that same word choice and intention, yeah, no, that's just rough. I don't envy any translator.
look, all I'm saying is having somebody say girl is a Milli Vanilli move, you know? Girl, 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 girl. Whereas she's so young is a Jeffrey Epstein move.
So before we get onto that plane,
Such topical commentary. I get this. And with, I can't wait till this comes out in the year 2025 and nobody understands anymore.
oh
Or we're still
gosh,
talking about it and it's weirdly still topical.
never forget. Our next and last commenter here is 7Q with a big one. For the civilian slash common people's view, aka Saji. You pay your tax, you live, you consume, you contribute to the authority who are doing things like abandon people for their convenience as their will. Even season 1 already showing many of their things, proxy war, inhuman super soldier projects, leaving the opposing country to rot because they didn't contribute in solar tower system, etc., are the roots of twists which source from human nature. Or even most of common people will do the same once they become the authority. Then how can you be so sure that you are not supposed to get involved by right? Not blaming all to authority or elite, but this is human nature. A bad one that needs to be cut off, learn how to turn it into strength of human as a race even if he is a child, compared to those who involved him in the trouble. I am truly sorry for him to be one of the first unlucky common people to get involved into this shit. But then, this is his fate. CB crew members, already faced with much more desperate shit, be It caused by the system loophole executed by humans in the past, so the best for him is to grow up and resist, or rot in the bad end situation, or die in a random scene. No one's supposed to decide and responsible for him up to that level, and he is already in the list of A-Laws as a member of Carathon, so CB can't just drop him in the Mideast country, which is safe from bounty, but having different language and start from zero. So the best way for now should be to just keep him with CB and figure it out later. That's part one. That's
I want to
paragraph one.
I want to say at the very beginning of that, you said all he has to worry about is paying his taxes and all this other stuff, and my mind wandered a bit for that package I told you that UPS didn't deliver this morning. Like I just started thinking about my
All
own
Sanji has to
problems.
worry about is if the package got delivered this morning.
Yeah, that new headset that I ordered. But it's like literally, you start describing Saji's like ordinary problems. I just start thinking about my own problems. It's like, oh man, I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
call the USPS after if we take a break, and it's like, see what I can do about dropping my package off. And it's like, Saji should be alive. It's like, oh right, we're talking about Gundam again.
Saji could be you. I think that's a great point that at least you can identify that like immediately.
Except that
Additionally,
he's clearly not though, because he put me behind like the guns of a Gundam. I'm pulling the triggers, so it's not a problem.
you'd probably have a lot more fun, honestly. But 70Q, I think, has pointed out very directly what Saji's character probably has to be in general, right? It makes the most sense realistically and narratively that eventually he realizes that he does in fact have to fight for himself to some degree. He cannot just let people kill him.
He actually doesn't have to, though. He's a civilian. If he doesn't
Um,
have to actively become a combatant. Because once you do that, you start actually becoming a target. You don't want to be
right.
a target as a civilian in a combat zone.
Yeah. I mean, I joke all the time about like he's got to get into the Gundam, but like he could still join up with CB and just like make food for them or something. We've had support characters like that. We had IBO. There were like three characters doing that all the time. He could work on mechanics. He's an engineer. He could join anything that promotes the fact that he wants to still exist in the world while the world is trying to kill him.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. There's no good option for him. Like the previously discussed, the Middle East is not buying into the whole agreement for the World Federation sort of thing.
Mhm.
But at the same time, he can't be dropped off there to start from zero. Also, there's a
Yeah.
super laser targeting Middle Eastern cities, so if he had dropped off there, he'd be just killed too.
He'd already be dead, right?
Yeah. So the point is more openly that he
Oh,
just has nowhere to go because he'll.
there we go. Tie back in. Hey, you want a connection to that million as a statistic? Could have been Saji in there.
I already have a connection. There was the woman and her child. I already said that.
Yeah,
I
but
don't need
right.
Saji to be there. I mean,
I know. I'm just being silly.
there's still no possible way to make a million people dying an
Mhm.
emotional package other than the two people that they showed me because that's
Yeah.
it. You literally have to put other meaningful people into the scene. Otherwise, yes, I understand what it is to be a mother with a child. Well, I don't understand what it is to be a mother. I understand what it is, parenthood. I don't either. I'm not a. Look, I understand what's
You'll
being
never know the
represented
joy of
to me.
being a mother, Theta.
Yeah, and I also don't want a kid. So none of these things are things I personally understand the experience of, but I was once a small child, and I had a mother. I still have one. I'm not representing anything well here. I understand these things from the child's perspective because I'm still a child in mind. Anyway, let's just keep moving.
Yeah, but wait, there's more. And you can't stay out of this forever. It is just the matter of time. Everyone will start to take cue to get into trouble. You stand up and fight for the change, or get involved, die in nothing, and have no words to say before the god. If everything is transparent, many people could even lose their right to live. My word may be a little harsh, trying to go so hard to live on just to exploit other weaker, so ugly as a race and soul. Eddie,
Was that part two?
that was paragraph two, yes.
Oh, so how much more do we have?
Two more.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I thought you were going to do two parts. and that this was part two, and part two was
I
all of it.
gotta take some breaks, and that seemed like we had something to say about it before we move
Oh,
on.
no words to say to God. That's just what jumped out at me. And it's like, one, you have to believe in God, and I guess two, fuck God, I guess, if God is real. Well, okay, who is God to tell me that I have to act this way or you'll send me to hell? Fuck you, I'm going to hell on my own accord. You can't tell me what to do. I guess if I'm gonna fight anything, I'm gonna be fighting God. Put me in the
Mhm.
Gundam that fights God because that's my only recourse. I don't. Who gives a shit about this lifespan of maybe 50 to 80 years at best? If I have an eternity where I have to deal with
Mhm.
the biggest tyrant of them all, who says live your life this way or you'll suffer in the afterlife, that's the fuck that guy. Who
There
cares?
you go.
Who cares about the space laser that's sending people to the afterlife faster? At that point,
To Yeah, just to draw us back though, I think the important part is that yeah, he has to stand up to fight for change. Anyone that situation would, and as we mentioned before, Theta, if we threw you into the Gundam, you'd shoot.
yeah. But I mean,
You at least have self-preservation, Theta. I'll
I
give you
also
that.
think there's also an element of like social pressure involved, right?
Yeah.
I think most people, if they were put in Sanji's position, would fight just because the people around them would expect them to, and it
Hmm.
would seem like you're gonna kick me off the ship if I don't fight, right? Aren't you?
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So, not even a self-preservation sort of thing. It's just the way we work as animals. That either
Yep.
you're gonna work with us or you're not gonna be here.
I think adding to that, there is Stockholm syndrome, which does not actually exist because that is the way people try to excuse the fact that people no longer empathize with the police after they're captured, but rather the captors. And that's just because humans are social. You're in a group of people, you're talking with them, you start to understand what they're about.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the same kind of effect of when you start having like a crush with a coworker. It's not that you hate work so much and you consider them their captors. It's more so you spend all your time with these kind of people, and eventually they're just who you're used to hanging around with, and you might get like a little emotional about them.
As it turns out, humans are social people, and you can care about people, even ones who have done bad things for you. There's a whole topic right there. So, moving on. Part 3. This is simply the reality. You do whatever you want. You overpass whatever you dislike. You keep your love for your own. Then other people could just do the same. Ah. You don't have the rights to argue about what is happening later, and of course, people will start blaming those who are to blame, but not those doing sneaky things behind the scenes. But what's coming is coming. Something in the system is wrong. They produce and twist and misery. Then, although is slow, surely will develop into a final devastating war. To put an end to this loop isn't just placing full responsibility onto those people who causing trouble, but broaden the view of others as a leading pioneer and change direction into the way of reducing the obstacles of mutual understanding. In this show's case, the authority who gain access to GN tech, even able to have their way freely with ALOLs and info manipulation dealing with both actual rebel and civilians. I might need
Well,
some help with this one.
is that it? Did you finish it?
That's part 3.
Okay. It really feels
There's
like
part
one.
4.
We got like a message from the Matrix there, and I don't mean like what's that guy? The macho.
Cypher?
No, the asshole guy who got not from. I'm not talking about from the Matrix. I was going to make a joke that the guy Andrew Tate, the asshole
Oh,
who got arrested, not that Matrix, but like the actual Matrix coming out to talk to us. But um, the thing that I got from that, it sounds like the whole if good people do nothing, then evil wins, that sort of thing. That's what I
yeah, that
seem
would
to.
make sense.
That's what I seem to pick out from that, and that it's not if the bad people get the power to do stuff, it's if that everybody else doesn't stand up to do something.
Mhm.
Which I mean, sure, but you still put the blame on the bad guys. The people who don't do nothing didn't do anything by definition.
Right, right. Uh, I'm not sure I really have anything much else to add there. I think that's probably the best I can get out of that paragraph right there.
Well, I mean, it's pretty deep, but at the same
Mhm.
point, it might be actually pretty base, and the Google Translate made it real deep. Who knows?
Who knows? But at least we got something. Last paragraph. But this is super hard for the current stage of humanity, and this awareness has to be understood by a majority of humans to turn the tide. Takes a long time, nearly no personal gain to the progress, nearly impossible for modern people's mindsets. Then bad end is assured, but at less for me, I will have these in my mind and gradually do if I have the chance, so that God can't complain much about me.
So I think your problem here is you're too worried about what God's going to judge you after you die. And at what point does that matter to the people left behind on Earth, right? If you're so worried about the afterlife, then this is all transcendental. Like you said, 50 to 80 years on a good day,
Mhm.
and at that point, it's an eternity in the afterlife. So who cares about human suffering at that point? Because
I
human,
think you're
su-
fixing. I think
human
you're fixing.
suffering is a century long. Your reward is eternity. Who cares about a tenth of eternity?
I think maybe you're fixating a little bit much on God, but that's fine because
It's
it's
part of the
obviously the same
commentary.
nothing. I know. But to go with the vibe here, that basically revolutionizing the human spirit is a hard task and takes a long while, and people aren't set up for it.
You know what?
I think the
Sorry.
parallel I can draw here, though, is that at some point people lived under feudalism and didn't think that there was any alternative and could not possibly imagine anything happening after feudalism, after the king's fall, except chaos. And we live in an age now where no one can possibly imagine what could possibly happen after the end of capitalism. It's just ruin and Mad Max afterwards. It's gonna be chaos and we're not gonna have anything. And it's never gonna be true.
Do two things. Mad Max was the we lost oil. That was what caused Mad Max, not the fall of capitalism. Two, two,
But that's what people think about.
your whole revolutionizing the human spirit. You know what really worked well for that?
A revolution?
No, when God killed the firstborn of every family in Egypt, just to
I
bring
feel
it
you're
back.
not quite in my revolutionary spirit here, Thane.
What, you're saying Moses wasn't a revolutionary?
Oh gosh, there's a lot to be said there. Geez, we could be there for a while. So let's go and continue.
I believe you'll find that Moses sought to overthrow the Pharaoh for the purpose of his people. Are you saying that's not a revolutionary spirit? All he had to do was kill the firstborn of every Egyptian family, apparently.
There's the lesson to take away today, everyone. If you want a revolution, kill every person.
Look, it'll it'll certainly put everybody on one side of the aisle or the other. That's for sure.
All right. Before
There's no
before
neutral
I start
parties in the
doing the
baby murders.
Bible, let's move along because I'm gonna.
I believe you'll find that's also in the Torah.
Last episode was Wait for Me in Space. The Double O Razor's Trans Am abilities enable it to outclass and outmaneuver the Innovator's mobile suits, forcing them to flee and escape pods as their units are destroyed. In the aftermath of the battle, Ribbons orders revival and brings stability to capture the Double O. The Innovators question Ribbons' true knowledge of Ayla's plan and the twin drive system. Saji, Luis, and Setsuna cope with Saji and Luis's positions on opposing sides. Luis concludes Saji has always been a member of the Celestial Being and strives to forget him, while Saji struggles with the decision to fight and save Luis or leave Celestial Being to be with her. After the Memento Mori second barrage destroys a military base and a nearby refugee camp, Sergei is ordered to force witnesses from the Federation army to conceal the information. Memento Mori fires again and annihilates half of an incoming Karathon attack force, surprising Celestial Being and Karathon that the weapon can fire into space. Without the element of surprise, the operation is at risk.
Such a such a dumb thing. I mean, I'm not saying it's dumb in the show or that it's dumb in narrative. It's it's not when I say things are dumb, I mean it's a stupid funny sort of thing, right? You have this
Mhm.
box, right? And it points down when the thing wants to fire down, right? And they're like, "Oh, what's this? The top is opening. Oh no, it's firing up." It's like it's like just
But isn't that
stupid dumb.
exactly where you were a few episodes? Like, oh, this thing can only point down.
Well, because I thought it was part of the circle thing that goes around. So My point was that it could only move along the track. So even if it could only point down or up, it was still doing a this and
At least
not
now we've
like moving
seen.
around. So at that point, all you do is come at it from the side, and then you realize, oh no, it's opening a panel on the side. It's fine. Still dumb.
Yeah.
It's
Now
dumb in a
we've seen that it
stupid,
has an
funny way.
antenna. But I'm
Um,
definitely excited about this. I'm not sure we're gonna get more Saji Luis anything. It is just literally gonna be the Attack on the Death Star episode, I think.
remind us what Memento Mori means again.
Memento Mori is a memory of somebody's death. It's like a keepsake. Let me go and find you like a more complete
Well,
definition.
I remember it was a thing from Game of Thrones as well. I just don't remember.
Yeah.
It was a
It is an
saying.
artistic or symbolic trope acting as a reminder of the inevitability of death. So it's not necessarily a reminder of a specific death, but the reminder of
So
mortality.
it's a
Death
super
will come for
laser.
you.
It's a super laser named after the reminder of death. Not really holding back to
Yep.
anything on this one, are we?
Yeah, no, Ribbons is a dramatic bitch for sure, but Ribbons knows how to name stuff. He's like, no, I'm killing people with this.
It's not like the Witch from Mercury laser, which is like, no, 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 we transmit energy with this thing too. It's like we called it Memento Mori. Remember your
Yeah,
death.
I confused the two last time. I'm sorry about that.
What's that?
I thought the this laser was also transferring energy at some point. I don't think it ever was.
No, no, no. They've got the whole ring thing with the elevators that bring the
Mhm.
energy down. As far as I know, that's how that's handled.
Yeah.
Um, this is just a satellite, the super weapon for, you know,
hmm
not even trying to justify it anymore. We don't have to. We don't have to justify
They're in
anything.
charge. They have an military organization that can do anything they want. They have a death laser. They can lay down whatever law they want.
Yeah, I guess I've just completely given up on the facsimile of a government that we've just like ordered in. Like all those people that used to sit on like little panels and
hmm
vote on stuff. I'm not even talking about real world. I'm talking about just in the
Yeah.
show. All those like political panels where they would talk about the justifications of the actions and what
hmm
was good for the country that they represented. Just all fucking gone. It's just a military structure now. And that's why I was talking about, is President Ribbons actually a thing? Or do we actually have, like, God, what's that Russian thing that goes on every election? Um,
Suppression.
well, no, you like, Putin has the actual control, but they have, like, this legal system in place where every couple of terms, a person can run again as the president. So what it is that Putin has a stooge. I can't remember his name, but it's been like the same guy for like the last 10,
Uh-huh.
12 years that runs as president, and Putin runs as like this advisory role that's above the president that he created when he was president. So that he just takes that position, tells this guy what to do, and then when he can't be that other position anymore, he runs as president, wins, of course, and just does what he wants. And then when he can't be president anymore, he just runs the other position again. So he has this infinite legal loophole to just be in power all the time.
I feel I've lost track of this tangent, but I think trying to wind back a little bit. Yeah, we're done with actual real world governments at this point. We're full into Gundam
Well,
governments,
no, no, I
which
was
are like
using it
space
as
organizations
I
and
was
stuff.
using it as an example for ribbons because we're trying to figure out where
Mhm.
ribbons is in the actual political system.
I'm not sure he actually is anywhere in it. I think he's just commanding forces.
Well, he's like telling people
He's a
what to do.
conspirator.
Well, he's telling people what to do, but he's putting them into positions of power, which means that
Mhm.
he has authority to put people into positions of power. So, is he controlling the president, or is he the president?
I think a scene of Ribbon's elected president of Earth would have been like an important plot point to have shown off at some
Well, we
point.
don't we don't know if they do elections or anything. They could be like the United Nations, then just formed a committee, and that committee put him in power. Because you remember, our United
Yeah,
Nations observer was also a Veda observer, or sorry, celestial being observer, which
yeah.
means that they might have had the authority to, once the United Earth Federation, or whatever they call themselves, formed, to just usurp control of it completely from the moment it formed.
There was the weird, creepy council of paintings.
We don't know if that was representative or. My problem, once again, with that episode, which probably told us a whole bunch of stuff, was that it started off as a recap episode, so I just tuned out and started making jokes. And then at some point when I wasn't paying attention, it turned into an actual episode again.
I can tell you it really mattered. I paid attention. I don't remember anything from that episode right now.
Except for the the cylinder ring of paintings with people's faces in them,
Yep.
with Alejandro sitting in the middle.
So, I guess it's time for us to go ahead and make a painting of this episode. Let's go ahead and watch. But of course, before we do, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to feed that algorithm. On top of all that, if you watch more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some early access stuff, you can check it out over on the Patreon. It's just $5 a month, but no pressure. It's all to support the channel, just a little bit extra. This is a very nice shot.
Oh, this is before it fired.
Yeah, we're getting the last time.
Who would have guessed? It's also kind of funny that the Batalmos can juke like left and right sometimes, but these old-fashioned ships are just. Something else that bothers me. Oh wow.
I love it. It's like, we don't think it can fire rapidly. Immediately proven wrong. I love it. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I was going to say, it hasn't been able to fire rapidly.
Hey, Gundam battle. Just little explosions everywhere.
I thought that guitar rip was going to open into something awesome, but it just didn't go anywhere. I'm just also somewhat bothered that the military doesn't have a standardized haircut. You figure in space you'd be worrying about like dandruff and hair particles just flying all over the place. This almost feels like a Legend of the Galactic Heroes scene.
Love the camera shake on that.
Oh, this feels like Independence Day. That little scene there. Target remains. Target remains.
Pure overwhelming force. Love it. Also, we just don't get intros anymore, do we?
We might. This is amazing music, though.
Oh, this is rocking.
I had to take the headset away just to hear it going. You never say something negative while flying in space.
Ram it to the set. Love the dedication.
Exia or lock on?
Probably lock on. Oh, never mind.
Taste that air. I miss the art style where I could pause and zoom in on the screens and they would say stuff with meaning. That was clearly just gibberish on that guy's screen. And this guy's just looking at dots. He hasn't even looked at... His eyes haven't moved. Not once. Every
He's
scene.
concentrating really hard, man.
Gundam 出現4機のモビルスーツが大破した模様やはり来ましたかソレスタル P
Oh, this is where he's gone to.
This guy's helmet seems like it was molded to his
強
haircut.
心率 27% ですガンダムはヒリングケア隊に任せ艦隊は防衛隊形で
Healing care.
敵
That's what I
の
thought.
襲来に備えなさい了解しました
These guys don't have human names, is all I'm saying.
メメントモリの
They really don't.
ならば
So that's the point, right?
叩けばいいだけのこと
I mean, it might be. We don't know if they're
大
aliens.
好きな殲滅戦をね
Why'd you guys attack the rigging? They're all flying around. It's part of the thing.
I guess destroying the world's megastructure might be a bad move.
You yourself said it wasn't part of the world's megastructure.
It appears like it actually is.
They said it was a satellite.
I guess there's a lot going on. Scuffed up my shoe.
Yeah, where's Lockdown at?
粒子が拡散してるとはいえガデッサの射程と同等だなんて
欅持ち場を離れるな少佐ガデッサが隊員にはライセンスがあります好きにさせなさい
Like Graham does. Graham has a license to do as please as well.
Hmm.
Guess it is built in. Maybe I've been right. You told me I was wrong for 2 episodes.
I don't know anymore, man. I don't even...
いくら上位士とはいえ男の嫉妬は見苦しいということよそれで戦況は
プトレマイオスによる
It's your favorite set of ninjas.
Honestly, her statement and what happened is the best evidence that they're not aliens.
女の嫉妬も見苦しいんじゃないあんたの思い通りになんかさせてあげないん
This is your favorite character, by the way, you said.
She's about to ruin everything. Let's go.
She's the last remaining Trinity member.
ダブルオーライザーから送られてきた衛星兵器のデータ表示するですやはりオービタルリングの粒子加速器を利用した自由電子レーザー照射装置ですねこの護衛艦の体系スメラギさんの予測通り
One word,
本
Memento
当に
Mori.
は発射角度の制限がありそうですノリエガさんエージェントからの暗号データが送られてきたです
Hey.
今まで何を
表示してくれるはいです
Seems it has a small exhaust port.
内部構造
どうやって入手を
スメラギさん衛星兵器の弱点である電磁波光鏡深部の位置がこれで作戦は
It's
決まっ
only a
た
meter wide, smaller than some womp rats back home.
接近しての直接攻撃ティエリアとロックオンの精密な連
Sorry,
携は
you've mixed up the thing. That's fine.
強行突破します
I can't say the next time 'cause you've said part of it in your thing.
どちらも必要ミッションすぐにでも始めるわよ了解です
There you go, best character.
So she sent it as though she was Wang?
Yes.
ルイスを知ってるんですか
She stole it from them, and because Wang is working with the innovators.
私はここに
ルイスはモビルスーツの
ええパイロットで
Is
した
Luis a mobile suit?
やっぱりあの時ルイス
Well, Setsuna is a Gundam.
クロスロード君を連れてブリッジに来てもらえるわかりましたそれとあなたに頼みたいことがあるの
Yeah, music.
It reminds me so much of Flash Gordon all of a sudden.
セツは今からミッションを開始するわ
了解
ガンダム火器初
I was just saying, I very much appreciate that she was about to put the thing away and then brought it back up. Because the
These
animation,
really are just like
it's animation they didn't have to do, and I appreciate that they did it.
they really are just like amping up the music. Like these are the same things as before, but I think just like a little harder.
Yeah, they could start playing the Sin fight music from Final Fantasy X at any moment. It wouldn't be out of place. Don't you give up on it.
We've had our Jazz Gundam. Where's my Heavy Metal Gundam?
No, we haven't had the Jazz Gundam. That's the only one you've seen. I guess I could ram it.
They're gonna try.
It's a lot of seconds.
Yeah, that's a long wait right there. That's like 10 minutes, the whole episode.
I guess I would, yeah, put it underneath the weapons firing.
Yeah, that's what everyone attempted to do.
Lassie. Sorry. There's the whole Lassie, Timmy's dropped down a well, and now they're in a gravity well. Timmy's fallen down a gravity well, Lassie.
What's that, Lassie? Little Timmy's at the bottom of the space laser? They can't hurt it, but they can literally force it out of the arc.
Memento Mori, 電子チャージ完了。走者準備。了解。強進開始します。
トレミー、敵衛星兵器の車線軸上に入りました。
Sorry, what did we bring Saji to the bridge for?
Good question. But the innovator's like directly on top of all this.
Memento Mori, 走者開始。
今です。ハレルヤ。
Oh man, are we gonna get like a Dragon Ball Z huh. beam battle?
Oh, I wish.
Oh, okay. It's not that I couldn't fire that low. I just didn't want to shoot the other part of the elevator.
Yeah, makes sense.
Also curious that the beam curves.
I guess they're not necessarily going the speed of light. They are electrons. They technically are on a gravity well. Everything would curve.
何？の？
About lock-ons on the bay to Trans Am.
Yeah.
Yarp. See, that was earned. They've shown them do that a number of times. The fact I was able to guess it happened makes it earned.
There we go. One doing the Trans Am, the other one taking the shots.
トランザムは全てトレミーの推進力に回してる。GN フィールドは使えない。ロックオン。オーライ、トランザム。行くぜハロー。シールドビット展開。シールドビット展開。
Huh, figured they would have done that with Taria's things. It's Taria's has the whole shell.
But yeah, its shields are down, so now it's using their shields. This is good. We're using things.
It's been 10
It's a
minutes.
really good. Sorry. This is a really good trench run, you know?
Well, it's been, we went from 564 seconds to 94 seconds. It seems incredibly fast.
We're at least going twice as fast. That's right. I counted.
Funny that everything explodes purple.
In the future, we have magical purple smoke for our electronics, I guess.
迎撃艦隊突破されました砲撃を集中しろチャージは 28% です
Surprisingly bad shots, too.
Stay on target.
I mean, this thing got destroyed once. We can rebuild it again later. The Batomos, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
作戦を完遂させるケルディムのシールドビットがどんな手を使っても私の戦術でみんなを
了解トランザム
They say yokai a lot in this show. Spirit ball!
Oh, yeah.
Of course, it's a purple one.
Oh, that just looks great.
Wouldn't this destabilize the entire ring structure though?
Quite possibly. Let's find out.
The destruction to Earth could be immense, although arguably not as destructive as the beam is to Earth.
Oh, not that much damage, though.
Yeah, just to the entire weakness of the laser system.
Memento Mori の強心部を破壊するまでには少佐
I guess that does answer the
They're not
question.
stopping!
The ring is at least a little resilient.
It has to be. It has to be made of some sort of future material. I thought they were gonna ram it.
強心部チャンスは一度
It is smaller than Womp
It's funny how the shields aren't gonna last much longer, but they've been lasting all this much longer.
その名の通り狙い撃つぜ
Sorry, the zoom in. Like, concentrate further. I'm sure it'll hit harder.
Well, it's her plan, I think is the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You could have moved at any time. That is on you. Also, you were annoying, so I don't regret your death. Now the other woman can get her time to shine again.
交代了解
Oh, Nina?
Yes.
No? Well, we didn't see her. But who else was firing red beams other than the Federation Ayla side? Yeah.
Yeah, who else?
Yeah, Nina Trinity.
There you go, the real hero of the episode.
She never gives a shit about her own life, as far as I can tell. Or I guess the lives of others. I don't know. Even in the manga, she just like says random shit and then doesn't care.
She's a troll with a spaceship. Congratulations.
The fact that the Thrones members have hacked Veda is only given away by her.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they think Fawn's dead, they like recite his real name and like his life, and they're like, the only way they would know that after it was hidden by Veda is if they had access to 7th level Veda information. It's like, well, I don't even understand why she said it in the moment anyway.
I think she's the one who also did the hacking in the first place. She's just a double agent through and through, and it's kind of fun to watch now.
It just doesn't make much sense, is all.
I'm just gonna say my expectations were actually lower for the character. They just keep getting higher.
She was your favorite character.
I know how to pick them.
And my favorite character is the most hated, apparently, of the series, so.
Hell yeah.
Not dead, though, which is, not typical for me. Although I picked Ghoul and he didn't die.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go back through all of the shows.
Almost did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's space stuff coming down.
クラス
やってくれた。これで中東は救われる。
すごい
I mean,
綺
yeah, I guess technically, yeah.
いや、少しも綺麗なんかじゃないのさ。あれは戦いの光だ。君たちの時代に残してはいけないものだ。
There we go. Celestial being conversions.
麗残すべきもの
衛星が落ちたか。
Can I talk about it now?
おそらくはソレスタルビーイングの仕業だろう。ハーキュリー。
I thought you were just a myth.
That would be such a weird
久し
angle.
ぶりだな。
Yeah, we don't know him, right? This is new?
No, I don't think we do at all.
The wild bear of Russia? Oh, new.
トレマイオスと離れ離れになったセツナはかの地で計画遂行者とついに対面を果たす。次回歌が聞こえる。あの人の歌声が心にしみる。
At a certain place. So I guess he's gonna meet Ribbons somewhere. It's kind of like that time. It's kind of like that time. I think no, sorry. This is a scene. Something I have to tell you about from the manga. There's a place they have to attack, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the most unspecific place that you could possibly say a place on the Earth is? While
Somewhere in Russia.
You're very close.
Ah.
What's a little bit more unspecific than that?
Asia.
Well, it's both a little bit more unspecific. Okay, maybe I'll give it to you. Off the coast of Russia.
Do you have any idea how little that narrows it down?
I mocked it in the manga review. It's literally could be anywhere. You could not state a place more obscure from the rest. It's in the ocean, and you could still say. It's like... So, to say in a place has to be the anime shorthand for shit like that. You could say off the coast of Russia. You're like,
right.
Narrow that down a little bit. Like, what's the temperature there, at the very least?
I have no idea what to expect next time, that's all I'm gonna say, but they have done a very good Star Wars here. In fact, dare I say it, better than the most recent Star Wars.
Well, this is our middle hump, right? Because we're halfway through the season now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this is our middle hump. So we can expect a downturn of more political talk, character shit, and I don't know, Hercules, apparently, the wild bear of Russia, whatever that's going to amount to ramp us back up into whatever the season finale 2 episodes are.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about it before, but yeah, this is definitely the midpoint wrap-up, for sure. This is...
By the way,
And anything could change after this. They've
for,
demonstrated that they can win against the A-Laws, that there's nothing stopping them. They got rid of their worst set things. Now we need more antagonism. We need the invaders to come
for
in.
anybody that also mocked, where did the Sow laser come from Witch Mercury? Well, I guess this is our intro to lasers just fucking come out of nowhere. Because this
You
thing was
see-
never introduced either. It just appeared.
You see, Scheinberg actually developed this laser 200 years ago and built it into the... No, I can't do it. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, as
no.
far as we know, it's just related to the world government, or actually, it's related to. Well, no.
The ribbons.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that either. It's related to nothing. For all we know, it was built into the original ring around the Earth that's supposed to gather power. So,
Mhm.
Don't know how long ago that took place. We do know there was a thing called the solar conflict. Could have been built during that time, I guess.
That could make sense, though. You think giant death laser would be a thing people would note if it fired ever beforehand?
They could have forgotten. Or
Could
it
have.
could never been reported. I mean, I don't know. 'Cause
Could have
back
just
then,
been something that they've been working on,
I
Yeah.
assume back then we still had like the three giant world governments and then the giant conglomerate of unrelated states. So it would be harder to keep that kind of a giant secret. But
The only thing that could make this more Star Wars would be if we had more build up towards the space laser. Just like, yes, there's a secret project called Memento Mori. I wonder what that is. Yes, we've sent many Bothans to die getting this information.
I mean, I'm not complaining that it came out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
yeah.
I didn't complain that the Sow laser came out of nowhere. I just know a lot of people
Mhm.
are like upset with that. Like the
Yeah.
therapist guy I keep talking to you about. I know a lot of people expect me to say that I keep talking to. that I keep talking to you about that did the reactions to Witch from Mercury as well. He was upset about the space laser because he was worried that it was going to be a major plot point. And a bunch of people in chat was like, just move on, just keep watching. It's not gonna mean a damn thing.
Oh, yeah, no, that's
But if you
That's the unfortunate thing about watching some media. You see something that looks like it's big and it's important, it's about to change everything, and then it just really isn't.
I mean, rationally, it is a worry, right? That you think
Uh-huh.
20 something episodes worth of build up is all going to be ruined by this ass thing that got pulled out of nowhere. And it's like, no, it's meant to indicate that it means nothing because it does nothing other than, momentarily set area aside, and that's it.
hmm Yeah, literally just meant to push a single moment and, put Eri into a position where things can change.
I guess my final thought here is, why did Saji get called to the bridge?
Next time on Stoneface Reactions. No, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's literally, Saji with you? Make sure he comes to the bridge too. Cool.
Maybe they just wanted him a station or something.
Make sure he didn't fuck up, I guess. Since everybody in the comments thinks he's a fuck up and he's gonna do something. What's he gonna do? Middle of the fight. Haha, I've turned off the power.
Yeah, the power that was protecting us as we're doing this maneuver.
Or, now that we're under heavy fire is the perfect time for me to launch out the bay in a jet to go find Luis. Oh, wait,
God.
Lock On and the other guy are in there.
What was Mary asked to do?
She was on control of one of the consoles. I think she was monitoring when they were outside. One, she was keeping count at the time, but another, she was also monitoring when they were going to go outside into the beam's range of attack.
Okay.
The console in front of her, I don't know. It kind of seemed like that's what she was doing because when she turned around to look at it, that's when we get the view of the console with the V shape going over the line.
Right, yeah. The firing arc.
Yeah, so it seemed like that's what she was doing. Perfect for your telepath. Telepath means you're good at math and graphs.
I guess so. So, I don't think there's anything else to say other than I think the fight was really cool. I really liked it.
Music was good.
Oh yeah, Muse is rocking today. So, I think with that, let's go ahead and close it out. This has been Stoneface Reactions, everybody. I'm Griffin. That's Theta. And we'll catch you next time. See you around, everyone.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?